All right, take two. You ready? And action.
Karla, hi.
Hi, hello.
You're here.
I am.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I'm very happy you're here.
Yeah,
So there's I mean, pretty much everyone in my life knows who you are and knows things about you, but doesn't really know you at all.
I like that.
Well, I got bad news for you. So, the reason you're here, which I am excited about, because it is a different, aspect of video production per se. I mean, I wouldn't. It's not a production in terms of you're producing a product, but you are producing a result.
Correct.
Using video, and you now work in you work in surveillance.
Yes, casino surveillance. Yes.
And you've recently been promoted.
Yeah, actually.
In your field of work.
Yeah.
What is that like to go from someone who grew up in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
has a relationship with casinos, as people who grow up here do, in one way or another, has their opinion on them or their experiences in them, to now someone who is so integral to the security and well-being of the business of the gaming business?
So growing up, I didn't know what gambling was, actually. I didn't start gambling until, or I say start, so like put money into a machine till I was in my 20s. And it's just something you grow up with, right? So you see the billboards, you see the casinos, you see the lights, and it's just like, oh, there's just lights, there's just buildings. This is where I live.
Yeah.
So it was
You're
never...
not thinking about who's in there, what's going on.
Yeah, no. And it was not a... there was no inner interest to go in there and say, I want to go in there and I want to see it's just, you see it every day, and it's
like a tree or a lamp or a landmark.
Yeah, very bright lamp. Yeah.
A neon lamp. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And now I just think back and I'm like, oh, I must have missed so much by not actually going in there.
Really?
Seeing things. Yeah, absolutely.
That's interesting. Okay. Like what? Like in experiences or memories?
Both. And just seeing things that are no longer here. The city is constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
So casinos are, I think, the catalyst to that. So every time there's a change in a casino, it changes like
the culture
of what's in that particular place,
Yeah.
And certain crowds avoid it, certain crowds get drawn into it, and it changes. So I know for a fact the first blank years of my life, like I missed out a lot, or at least in what the culture of what that would have been like by not going in there.
Yeah, so that is an interesting take, especially because so many homegrown Vegas local people, attitude towards the Strip is that they stay clear from it as much as they can. They hate going to it or whatever. It's not everybody, but...
Well, I was going to say, I think that was the feeling some years back. I don't feel like that's the case anymore, right? A lot of the people I hang out with, I mean, maybe because we're at the Strip,
yeah.
we're constantly there.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's go here, let's go there. Like, we know,
the spots.
And we don't mind, going, driving, valeting, or parking, and then walking. Like, we don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a catalyst there, though, right? You're not going in and you're not going and getting price gouged. You're going to places where like locals and people who work in the industry go.
Correct.
You're not staying more than an hour, so you get the free Nevada parking, Nevada resident parking. So there's benefits to it. Right? Yeah. Or no?
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What is the Strip? What is the spot? What's the spot? I want to go. What is it?
What do you want to do? There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You don't want to reveal any. You don't want to reveal any
Absolutely
industry
not.
spots, really? Come
No,
on,
what are you talking
one?
about?
You can't do one. It's not like there's millions of views.
No, I understand that.
It's
Well,
just us here. We're just talking.
it's just us.
Come on.
Okay.
One spot. Come on. Something.
I mean, you got to tell me what you want to do, though. You can't.
All
Just
right.
a spot.
I wanna go drink on the strip, and I don't want to spend a lot of money.
And you don't want to spend
Right.
a lot of money? Actually, this is very easy. It's not a spot. It's all of them.
Uh-huh.
You just go to the bar, you put $20 into a machine, and that's it.
All right.
That's literally it.
How long can you like stretch that 20 out? You can't just really leave it sitting in the machine, right? You got to kind of play a little.
Yeah. But I mean,
Every 5 minutes.
So like I said, I'm not a big not that big of a gambler.
Who's watching that? Are you watching that, or is that the bartender? The bartender's watching that? Are you like, all right, how many times has this person gambled?
No. So if you put on a game that you have no idea what's going on, you just literally press the button.
Yeah.
And then just let it ride. Or that's the wrong word, actually. If you just let it sit there and then you're like, oh, I'm playing a game, and just keep, All
right. I'm just going to address right now. There's a fruit fly in here, and it's making me so fucking blood red mad. And so every time you see the fruit fly in the shot, whatever, this one or that one, just know I'm blood red mad. Just know I'm pissed. And now that has been said, so we don't have to pretend like it's not happening. Okay? All right? All right.
You should get those with electric zappers.
They don't work. They're too small. They don't work on those. These things are the most resilient motherfuckers in the world. They're like roaches. Like you can't one. You only need one. Where's the other ones coming from? How do they reproduce with one? How is this possible? I don't understand. There's no food up here. All right.
You lost your mind over the fruit fly.
I can't get rid of them. They're driving me crazy. It's like the fucking episode of Breaking Bad. This is what's happening. All right.
Anyway.
So your tip, I suppose not everybody knows this, is you'll sit at a bar with machines.
Absolutely. And then and
you could do that on the strip, and you'll drink for free, essentially.
The last week when I've gone out, I literally sit there and I get 3 drinks at a time, like a shot, a beer, and like a mixed drink.
That's not bad for $20 on strip.
I mean, like initially.
Yeah. What do you mean initially? Oh, you just.
So that's immediately what I order.
Okay. All right.
So
well, you're an alcoholic, and it's all right, and you should curtail your drinking, but it's fine.
Anyway, and then of course, the bartender's like, hey, like you need, and then you just get.
Yeah, I mean, especially you working, like, oh yeah, just got off. How's that fucking whatever property? I don't. Should we not? Do we not say what property you're at?
I rather not.
I agree. I think that's a better idea. So in case somebody sees this and gets a wild idea that they're gonna go get your attention somewhere.
Oh, they'll get attention, but it's not gonna be for me. I'm just gonna tell you that.
So working in surveillance, you have a bird's eye view of things, of people. You can watch them. They don't know you're watching them. You can see them. Is there a feeling of power there?
No.
Really?
For me, at least, no.
No.
I do get that from some people that I've worked with, but it's more of, for me, it's not power. It's more of like an intrusion.
Intrusion.
Yeah. So, it's like you're on property. So like you kind of know that there's cameras everywhere. So
some people know. Not everybody knows.
You don't think people know there's cameras everywhere?
I think people know they're being watched. I just don't think people know they're being watched to the extent that they are being watched.
Yeah. Well, right. So
I mean, you could watch the movie Casino, and there's a lot of what happens in Casino is where I got my preconceptions about Vegas, and there's really not very much video going on in Casino. It's just like they're watching everything. There's pit bosses on the floor. There's everything's being watched. Everything's being communicated through radio or whatever. nothing really gets by the big casinos, that kind of thing, and the gaming commission and all that. And that's the sense you get. I think if you have any kind of common sense, you get that feeling. But I don't think people know the extent that they're being watched on camera now. Even outside of casinos, though, just everywhere. I don't think people realize how often they're on camera.
I can see that for sure. So I guess it's I don't know, maybe it could be like a power feeling, but like for me it's like once I go enter any establishment at this point, being that I do what I do, I'm like, well, I already know I'm being watched. So I feel like because people in my head know that, they would understand what I'm doing, like, watching them.
Yeah.
So I feel like in a way you kind of lose that that privilege of privacy once you enter one of those buildings. So I don't know if that's power per se, but it's definitely like a, hey, like you already know what's going on, so
yeah,
what you texting over
behave
there,
yourself, watch,
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah,
Don't cheat.
No,
Don't,
well, this
or,
is
or maybe just don't gamble.
well, this is the thing too. It's like people
gamble because we need that money to come into Vegas, but maybe be careful gambling.
No, the like let's say just regular people, tourists, or even just some locals that aren't in the casino, they'll go in there and they'll just like text and like move on, So
what do you mean text and move on?
well, like, they'll pull out their phone, text, and then like put it back in their pocket or put the phone away or whatever, and then keep going. But employees do that too, and even more so, they lose even more privacy. So I'm going around here, but people don't behave just because they're even at work.
Right.
We for sure caught so many people just texting inappropriate stuff at work with company phones, or just even on the floor with other guests around, just inappropriate things,
All right, so this is new to me, even like our conversations about your job. I didn't know that. I didn't know y'all do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Really? So through surveillance, you guys have caught employees, just texting inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's some
like just on the casino floor, they're just standing there.
That's some 4K, like caught in 4K. Wow, no way.
Yeah, so
that's wild. And you're not. I mean, clearly, but you're not just like sitting up there fucking off eating a bowl of Cheetos. Like you're really watching, and you're very good at your job.
Yeah,
and you've risen in the context of your job very fast, I would say.
Yeah.
Is there can you quantify how it is that you've risen and what it is about you that you feel makes you so good at what you do?
I think the number one thing is I just constantly want to know more. And that's in terms of policy, procedures. I want to know more of the people that come in. I want to know more of the people we employ. I want to know what they do. So I'm in there. I know that sounds terrible.
I'm in there,
but I'm in there.
All right, explain that. Like you're looking, you're seeking.
I'm constantly. So the higher you go up in this business, like the less of that you do. You do less of it.
The less of what you do.
Of watching just the floor of the casino.
All right. Less actual,
Less
more
actual,
management and policy you're
correct.
going into. Yeah.
But I have not let that go. And I'm doing both things.
Yeah.
So, I'm just more, learning more, constantly training. I take trainings that first, like we call them green operators. So people who've never been into surveillance, they get into surveillance. They get training. So I take those constantly. I just keep up.
You take training for
absolutely.
new operators.
Absolutely.
Really?
Well, the more you understand a subject, the more you can explain it, A, and B, the more you're able to actually apply it and use it.
That's very wise. I will say this, that in every craft, I mean, I'd say I've been in 2 crafts where I've reached a level, at least of professional level. And the biggest aha moments come from mastering the basics, and then once you feel you've got comfortable with them, then going back and remastering them. So that's pretty much what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that shit works.
Yeah, especially it's even more eye-opening where your areas of improvement are when you have to teach it to somebody else.
Right, true. Yeah.
Because again,
are you doing much of that? Are you training new operators a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in this new role, yeah.
Okay. How's that going?
It's fun because you get, like the new people who are just excited to be in surveillance, and they want to just get everything and do it right, and it's like that excitement of something new. So dealing with that is very contagious. So it makes you appreciate, at least it makes me appreciate what I do and know that they're thankful to be there.
So how would you say you've climbed faster than others around you?
Yeah.
How much faster?
There's been people, I will say this before I give you that answer is some people just they're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Making good money.
Yeah. I think we all, can know that. Yeah. I think we all know people like that. And I don't think anybody sees anything wrong with that.
Right. So they could have been higher or done more, but they're just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I don't, even the people that have trained me, their journey has been a lot lengthier. That's not even it's been way longer than mine has. Okay. And for sure my mentor from my last property, she told me, when you think you're not ready is when you just start like trying to move up, because you're more ready than you think you are. So you just doubting yourself, right? Yeah. So I've been taking every opportunity. So if I see it, I'll take it. And if I get it, I get it. And if I don't, then it's like, okay, well, where can I improve? And then again, back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
So
you never wait till you're ready, because you're never going to be ready, really.
Right.
If you're ready, if you're ready, you already have the job or have the thing. That's when you're ready, is after you did it.
Right.
You're never going to be ready. You have to just, sometimes you have to take a risk, and, some people, there's a sliding scale of tolerance to risk for people.
Right. So I don't know. I think it's been a lot faster. And then some of the people that I've now worked with, them too, like the same hunger they have for the job. Yeah. They've also climbed up really fast. Yeah. Because some people, it sounds crazy, but if you don't get it, you don't get it. Right. And there's nothing you could do.
That does not sound crazy at all. That's most things.
But some people just like kind of skate by and like, here, you can't do that. Yeah. If I tell you, if you can't tell me the payout for like a blackjack or whatever on whatever table, right? If you don't know what that is, and dealers are just making errors, or people are just doing whatever they want at the table, like we just can't have you. You're at this point a liability.
So you're at a station watching the casino floor. Mm-hmm. What is the fastest way for me to get your attention? If you're watching, what is the fastest thing that's going to get your attention and have you watching me? And
touching the rack. So
touching the rack.
we call them checks, but the chip rack, putting your hand on that.
Oh, really?
Yes. That'll get you immediate, just not that there's sensors
Like
on it.
3-4 different cameras looking at it. Got 3-4 different people watching you on different cameras.
So based on the angle, we kind of know like what dealers look like when they're dealing. We know the human behaviors of the people that work there.
Yeah.
And the human behaviors of the people who show up.
Yeah.
So when there's any kind of I was gonna say something else. When there's any kind of
shenanigans.
Well, anything
Tomfoolery.
anything that doesn't align with what happens normally.
Yeah.
It's immediate because the cameras aren't far away. We're in there.
Yeah, you're in there. You're in there.
So we
Should make
see
a
it.
T-shirt with that on there.
We're in there.
We're in there. We're in there. So how much really your role is to prevent the casino from losing money more than it is like security, right? Is that
So my job description would be to protect the company assets, and protect the people who are on property.
Okay.
So
there is some level of layer of security involved too.
Yeah,
Like if you see someone assaulting another person, you're going to call security.
Correct.
That kind of thing.
We have, we communicate with them, and it's like we just sent security over there. Like, hey, can you go look over here? Or this is happening, or whatever.
Yeah.
In an event of any sort of actual like threat, we're the ones who take over the entire casino.
What's something that I'd be surprised about? Like that has to do with surveillance, like maybe something that the casinos are lenient about that you wouldn't expect, or maybe something that happens often that you wouldn't expect people to do, or like.
The number one thing I think is I understand the casino is there to make money, but we give a lot of money back. So if something happens,
like an error that goes the other way,
we don't get credit for it. I've told the team today, we're like the unsung and unknown heroes. And it's like whoever's who's ever facing the guest, that's who gets the credit, right? But it's all the work, all the grind, like all the digging we have to do through programs and following people. Like it's easy, I would say for me, but if I were to throw you in a room full of, thousands and thousands and thousands of cameras for you to follow someone through the nooks and crannies of the casino, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we try our hardest to make sure that it's like super cliche, but to make sure that those guests kind of like know that we have their back in a way.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just there and it's like, oh, well, I lost $100. Well, I lost it. Nothing's going to happen. I won't get it back.
Yeah.
And if nothing happens, it's because, there was no, there was like, it's inconclusive.
Yeah.
So
I guarantee you there's people that don't even know casinos do this, like catch their own errors and correct them, like because most people's view is like the casino's just money hungry, it's going to take whatever it can get,
right.
or I don't know, most people but that is a perspective,
Yeah, we're there to enforce the policies that other departments make for themselves.
Do you think that it's like, of course, nobody you work with, but do you think anybody that you think there are VPs or managers out there that would discourage things going the other way and encourage things only going, like catching things that make the casino money and brushing aside like the other way? No, it's both equally important.
It's very important.
Can you explain why?
Customer loyalty.
Okay.
Like, that's literally it. So let me give you an example. So, oh man, Some months ago, a high roller, because high rollers do what high rollers do. So he had just
What do high rollers do? I
straps.
don't know what they do.
He just had straps of hundreds, $10,000 straps
Yeah.
in his jacket, multiple,
Multiple.
and he gets
10 G's, several bands of 10 G's
correct
on him.
Yeah, just because.
Just because.
Just because.
Maybe he wants to gamble.
That's another story. It's if people have money like that, it's to show off.
For
it's
reasons, for
it's
many
not.
reasons. We can leave it at that.
Right.
For many reasons.
If you truly have money and you go to the table, all you do is you ask for your money and you just get it.
What do you mean?
So people have like credit lines.
Right. Okay, right. Yes, the accounts. So if you're a big, I'm sure some people don't know this. I'm sure that if you're a player and you frequent a casino and you spend a lot of money in the casino, you'll have some form of an account with money in it or a line of credit or etc. with the casino, and the casino knows full well and you know full well and all of that.
Yeah. It's like a mini bank.
So you could just go to any table and say, "Hey, I'm here," and
and
give me
pull
some
from
chips.
your
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
I mean, it's not a lot. You just need a minimum of 300,000.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Hang on, I'll
just
be right
saying.
back. I got it under here actually. Whoa, weird.
Oh, the fruit fly.
That's where I keep it. In the nest of fruit flies to protect my money.
I'm sorry.
They swarm. They swarm you.
Anyway, so this guy's just walking around with a bunch of, this is like I'm going to say older gentleman with a bunch of women in his party, right?
Yeah.
So he's just being pulled different directions and he's carrying his jacket. And of course he puts it down and then he picks it back up and then they go now to like the high limit room and then he just tosses the thing, and
with several bands.
that's what I'm saying. So he
wild.
just tosses it onto like just random
Must be nice.
couches or seats that are there.
Yeah.
And then he like leaves,
Uh-huh.
like completely leaves.
Leaves.
Just leaves. All right.
Yeah.
And then, his host comes back and it's like, hey, he just told me he left a jacket here and it has money in it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's like, we had to track the jacket. So we're not tracking now the person. We're just following. That's a surveillance 101. You follow the money. You never follow a person. You follow the money. Yeah.
That's cool.
So
that's a cool quote. So did someone take the jacket?
an employee took it, but they just took it to Lost and Found.
To turn it in, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that casinos are one of the best places to lose something.
Mm-hmm.
Your shit turns up immediately.
Yeah.
I lost keys at the Paris once. I used to do nightclub photos at Chateau nightclub, rest in peace. And I dropped my keys, and 5 minutes later, I realized I had lost them. Went and looked in the place they were. I retraced my steps, couldn't find them. Went to Lost and Found. They're there already.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's great. We love that.
Yeah.
So all right. So back to the original. Back to this story. In my mind, I'm thinking, all right, just track the guy, and then eventually he's going to have the jacket, and then go from follow the guy all the way back to when he's got the jacket, and then you'll see the moment where he puts the jacket down and who's got it and whatever.
Right, but just because, let's say you follow the first, like where he put the jacket down,
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that's the money may not have fallen off before that while it was in his hand. You know what I mean?
Wait, so was the jacket missing money?
No.
It wasn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
So it was just, again, straps.
Yeah.
Just in there.
Yeah, that's wild, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're pretty safe in a casino, though, right? How safe are you in a casino?
Very safe.
Very safe, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's always Metro's always on property.
Metro is security for the strip, right? I mean, is it not essentially?
They're there when So when we need someone to just basically, if something legally happens, they can just take them right then and there. So we don't have to wait and call. I don't know if you've ever had to make a call to the police. Like you call the police and then they give you like an event number, and then you have to wait for someone to be dispatched. I mean, of course, everyone knows how that works, but
Yeah.
in a casino instance, it's not. Depending on what it is, people can be waiting there for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
For Metro to just arrive.
Yeah, to arrive.
To just arrive.
Yeah.
So it's not like a regular call that you do, like you place in your home and they arrive within minutes.
Yeah, and you're handcuffed to a fucking bench somewhere in a dungeon. Yeah, I know. I've seen those areas. I've seen those areas in my Caesar's days.
All I'm gonna say is you don't want to get detained or with mechanical restraints. Don't punch people.
Yeah.
Don't spit on them. Don't
They
get
put a
crazy.
spit bag on your head, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, and I've seen some videos, not in my place, but I've seen some videos where people get hogtied because they're insane.
Oh, hell no.
And then some.
I mean, drugs and alcohol and that, I mean, I'm sure it's some mental illness at times too, but, that stuff, is unfortunately a big part of
people like, security for all the stuff they do, they or for the rap they have, they get the real short end of the stick because they have to go in there and deal with the thing, so I can just call them over like, hey, go deal with this.
Yeah,
but they have to actually go in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a main character thing too. I mean, everybody's gonna always look at it from their own perspective. They're not thinking like this person must deal with so much dumbass shit all fucking day. Drunk ass annoying people. I mean, I walk away immediately if someone is drunk and annoying in Vegas. These people have to walk towards that shit.
Yes.
So yeah, of course. And security in Vegas is a little bit different breed too. Like depending on where it is. Like I mean, nightclub bouncers are fucking assholes no matter what.
Correct.
But like security at casinos are usually pretty cool, helpful guys. And women, and I respect them. It's a tough job. It's not easy.
Yeah. So see, that's where before surveillance, that's where I was. I was in security for 7 months, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
So
what was the worst? Like, what was the final straw? Do you remember?
Absolutely.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Yes, please tell the final straw.
So it's not funny, but
oh well.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
Are we going? We're going there. Okay.
I mean,
all right. Let me change. Shift gears here.
I mean, you asked. That's like this is what happened. So.
All right.
At this point, I had asked them to get me off the casino floor because I wasn't about to just deal with drunkenness, right?
Yeah.
And just the madness. So I was like, get me out of here. Yeah, absolutely. It's freaking madness.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
So
it's a good choice.
So my manager was like, don't leave.
Yeah.
Let me put you up in dispatch, right? So basically you literally control where everybody goes.
Right.
Send them to here, blah, blah, blah.
I remember this. I remember when you're doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hearing some of these stories.
And again, it was something I just multitasking as like I was an animal. Like I was in there.
Oh no.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say,
I'm starving. But.
So sure enough, I wasn't the main dispatcher that night. I was helping, my really good friend. And the phone's ringing off the hook. I answer, and it's this woman just panicking. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, how can I help you?
Oh shit, I think I remember this. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And she said, hey, my friend has been missing 4 days now, and we came here to a convention, and we were staying together at whatever casino, but she checked out of that casino and like checked into yours. Is there any way you can tell me she's okay? She hasn't answered the phone. She hasn't done like anything. And, she was telling me she has a heart condition and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, we're not allowed to tell people whether, someone's staying there or not.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, let me get your message, your number, whatever. And if they're staying here, I'll put a note in there, like once they go to the front desk, a note so that the front desk can tell you or tell them, I'm sorry.
Tell them to call you.
To call you.
Much, yeah.
And then she's like, no, you don't understand. She's like, this is an emergency. Like, she has a heart condition and all
you
this
gotta
other
go
stuff.
check. You gotta check.
Yeah. So I said, okay, 1 second, So I call my manager and I'm like, hey, we have this call. They want to do a welfare check on their friend.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we cannot tell them that they're there.
Right.
So this is like the conundrum here, But we can still go and do the welfare check.
Yeah.
Without telling her friend that we did so.
Right.
So I forward the call to my manager and then
what? Yeah. I mean, it's so roundabout. Like, how do you? Anyway, sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So I forward the call and I leave my thing like open pending. It's open pending.
The ticket in the systems.
And right before I left too, I completely forgot about it. Crazy night. So I come back now to double check what my work. And sure enough, that one's still open pending. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what the hell? So I call my manager. I'm like, hey, what happened? And then he's like, oh no, it's code 4. It's good. I'm like, we'll just do the message thing. I'm like, all right.
I forgot this part. Yeah. So
then I was working graveyard at that time. So this was, between like 3, 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
The next day around, it was like 3 p.m. It's actually same day, 3 p.m. now. I get a message from the assistant manager for that shift. And he's like, hey, so you had a welfare check last night. What happened? I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, I'm like, I didn't have a welfare check. And then, what saved me here, at least saved me here, was that I would log. So again, going above, right?
Right.
I was the only one who's logging every call, when the call came in, who I spoke to, what we spoke about, what time, and what would the resolution to that call was, right?
Yeah.
So again, and I would take it home, just, for my records.
Yeah.
Because the system's crashing. It crashes all the time. Their computers, they crash, right?
Yeah.
So I go through the list and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's that lady that called for the welfare check. So I'm like, nothing happened. I transferred the call, blah, blah. So I explained to him, he's like, so she called now, and she called the police basically because we didn't get back to her. And we basically found her friend dead, like in the room. Yeah. And my heart just completely sank. And I was like, man, like this was crazy. So, the moment of just realization was like, maybe if I had actually just said F the supervisor or manager and I had just sent somebody, maybe we would have found her earlier and we would have been able to save her or something. Yeah. And that was not the case. So after, time passed and we got the report back, it's like she had been passed away like 2 days before that. Yeah. Before that call was even made.
I mean, she's already missing 3-4 days. So it's likely that, you can't know, but.
Right. It's likely and the whole thing was like, I was put under like investigation, like absolute just scrutiny of an investigation, and it was escalated so fast. And, someone had to go because there was a lot of the systems in place failed that woman,
Yeah. So, I suppose so. Yeah. Huh.
So someone had to go. And I'm like, I'm the lowest one in the totem pole. Like, why would it not be me? Yeah. But again, luckily what saved me is that piece of paper.
Right.
You know?
The fact that you had and could quantify the fact that you were following procedure.
Correct.
It's not like you got a call and neglected it or.
Yeah. So that happened. And then literally 2 weeks later, I was already interviewing to go into surveillance.
Yeah.
And then I got it. And then I was like, yeah, security is not a thing.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy
There's
stuff.
a lot of those stories. Like, you know, again, you're there to protect like the people and the company assets, but there's a lot of dark stuff in there, you know?
Of course. I mean, things, I mean, stories that, some of these places are like 95% capacity at all times, or a good part of the year. That's a lot of people coming in and out of there. People are going to die. People are going to, lose their shit. I mean, old boy just fell off the fucking hotel balcony from One Direction.
That was crazy.
I mean, I don't even know the whole story, and that's just a wild ass way to go out, That's a wild ass way to go out.
No.
For sure. Here's a thought. You, have really never touched a camera before, right? You're not even like on social media and stuff. You're really not a big camera person.
Never touch a camera.
Yeah. So you really have not done any camera work up until now, and now all you do is fiddle with cameras and run. I would say, in my field, you're essentially a robo cam op, but you operate a lot of robo cams.
Mm-hmm.
How does that come naturally to you? One, which I'm assuming the answer is yes, but. And two, I'm very curious how intuitive the system is, like, just to operate. Like, is it like, all right, I can go to the next camera over and the next camera north or south, or is it like you have to type in a certain number, like, switching from like if you're following someone, let's say, you know what I mean? Like what is walk me through the mentality of operating cameras in a casino.
So it's about knowing. So again, human behavior, right? So it's about knowing once you have your, I want to say target,
Right.
kind of knowing where they're going. So before they even get there. So, so that you know the pathway that you as a camera operator are going to take. So the system, I think I came into it at a great time. So back in the day, it was
lovely party.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of these, like, I have, because of course I've looked it up, but these surveillance rooms were just full of walls of VCRs, So they literally
like actual VHS tapes?
Correct. So
really?
That's where that comes from, like review the tape.
Yeah, run the tape
people
back.
Still tell you, review the tape.
Yeah, run it back. Yeah.
It's because
review the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's because these rooms are just filled with just VCRs, and once that ran out, there's only so much room. They'd have to go in and manually change those things up.
Yeah, that's wild.
Right? So the technology right now is beautiful.
Yeah, none of that shit. None of that shit going on.
None of that.
Dusty ass tapes on a shelf somewhere with dates on it. None of that.
It's crazy. So the system.
How many gigs you got on that? How many terabytes you got on that system?
Oh,
is it just endless? Is it just like unlimited storage? Like,
correct.
Like how can that be? Is it cloud based? I mean, maybe you can't tell me that part, but it's interesting. It is interesting to think about.
It's a lot of room.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
A lot of room. So the thing is too is, we go in there with the mentality is like the more we save, the better. So we will never get in trouble for saving too much.
Right.
It's like, oh man, my computer's not gonna. Maybe I should cut that out in my computer, my camera, whatever.
Yeah.
No, in our department, it doesn't matter.
Have it. If
have
I have it, you better have it.
There's no excuse. There's no reason why you should not have this when it's, eventually legally someone asks for it, right?
Right.
So back to the system itself, super easy. We have our key controls, which is like a pad, and we have our joystick. And I mean, that's the easiest thing. But
So you do type in, so you are typing in numbers to select to go to the next camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can, I mean, again, I use now more the actual keyboard and mouse. So with the mouse, I just move the cameras and I'm zooming in and out.
Oh, wow.
And then, typing in cameras.
You would be good at Call of Duty probably, right? Or Fortnite.
No,
No?
I'm terrible at shooting games, which is crazy to me. Crazy. I'm just not good at those. But yeah, it's super easy. Again, it's my personal.
Right.
I think it's super easy, and the way the system is set up with the camera, the tree list, you can easily find whatever camera you need. We have again, depends on the system, because not all properties, not all casinos use the same thing.
Right, of course.
So, depending on where you're at, you may or may not have a map of cameras, which is also super helpful.
Are you, the property you're going to be moving to is an older-ish property. Do you know the system?
Literally, they just
upgraded.
So it's
Nice.
Beautiful. It's all digital, no analog.
Hell yeah. Man, what an undertaking that must be to upgrade that.
Absolutely.
It's the whole property, right? Everything.
Yeah.
So
because it's not just us surveillance. It's security has access to some cameras.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
Right.
But
which ones can't you see?
Them?
No, which ones can't you see?
Oh, I can see it all.
Oh, I thought you said surveillance doesn't have access to all.
Security doesn't have. I'm sorry if I
okay.
misspoke. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue this line of thought. I'll come to that other thought of devilish thought. But so, So let's say, give me the hypothetical perp suspect. The interesting thing that you said is you will know where they're going before they even get there.
Yes.
So can you give me a hypothetical thing, something happens, you know where they're going to go, how you know where they're going to go, and then how you follow them.
So repetition was one. People when they do things, I'm not going to say when they do things they're not supposed to. So steal from a store, steal from a person, pickpocket when they,
Is that a lot? Is that big in Vegas, pickpocketing? Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. Really? Wow.
Yeah. Don't wear backpacks, the little backpacks, that women wear. That
little knapsack thing?
Yeah. It's
the flap?
I know it sounds crazy, but fanny packs are just the best thing you could wear. Yeah. It's literally right in front of you. No one is going to just go in there and reach or come behind you and unzip it.
It's that you gotta get real close for that.
Correct.
Steal out of someone's fanny pack,
Yeah, but backpacks, luggages, purses, the big totes, women.
Big totes, yeah.
Yeah, people just go right in there to just fit. It's like a claw machine.
Wow.
And what's crazy is that they have they have their thing. It's not just one person. It's always a pack of them. So they'll it's wild animal shit, they'll literally surround.
They'll flank you.
They'll flank you, and then one person will do the thing, and then they disperse.
One's chit-chatting you up, and then
not even that, because it's a casino. It's busy. People are bumping into you. It's like if you're at a club, So just random people coming up to you and just bumping into you. You're like, what the hell? And you just look and what is going on? So those
before you know
turns,
it, you're fucking
you're done.
$10,000, your $10,000 racks that were in your jacket are gone.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I'm perp B and I've done something I'm off in a direction. Where am I going? How do you know? You know that I'm going there because this is a typical behavior, what people typically do.
Yeah. So
and then how do you follow me?
So the first thing, one of the first things people do is just go into the bathrooms because hello, we can't be in there.
Yeah.
So they'll go into the bathroom.
That was going to be my devilish question, by the way. Like, are there actually cameras in the restrooms? No, they aren't.
That's not. You want there to be, but I want there to be. You know.
You want there to be because people go in there and then they're
absolutely.
gone. Yeah.
Like, you know.
Or not gone, but out of sight.
Yeah. Like they don't. You know. It's like, what are you doing in there?
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is literally leading to.
But then you could just send security in there, though, right?
Yeah, you can send them, but that they're not going to search them. They're not going to see, you know, what they have, what they put, you know, in their pants or whatever the reason.
Okay.
Anyway, so if people don't go into the bathroom, they'll head straight for an exit. However, they think that it's that taking, like, you know how casinos have like pathways?
Yeah.
Of like there's carpet, like the ugly carpet that everybody loves. And then there's
everybody
like
does love it. It's kind of a Vegas, like, you know.
It works. It works. The psychology behind it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know,
and it's practical. You spill something on there, you're never gonna see it. It's tough too, heavy duty.
No, it really is.
They last. What do they last? Fucking 10 years. I mean, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people taking millions of steps, and it holds up.
So, they think that by not taking the walkway, which is out in the open and clear of things, you know, is going to help them like maneuver their way through or in or out of the casino. And it's like, no,
No, definitely not.
So depending on
maybe they think they're avoiding security, like or in pit bosses and people that are on the floor, maybe. But yeah.
So usually, let's say you take something, again, people just look for the exit, but you know, there's only so many entrances and exits to a casino. So if you take one way, we already know, hey, they're either going up an escalator, down an elevator, or out through the main, like let's say main door. Yeah. So because we use those cameras so regularly, it's like second nature. It's like, oh, okay, well, they're going there.
Yeah, follow them out to the main entrance.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. You just, especially, and then the repeat offenders, they don't change their behavior. They do the same thing.
Even getting bagged, and even having been bagged, they do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They come back like more of a, you know.
I can respect that.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna do this to this casino. Yeah. You know, that's what it feels like because they just do the same thing over and over and over.
What's a frequent thing that people do? We'll try to do.
Like literally just sit in the middle of like of a walkway and just smoke straight up crack.
Oh my God, I was not expecting that. Just smoke straight up crack.
Yeah. And they're
property.
Just like, oh yeah. And
casino
then
floor.
And then they're like, you know.
How do you guys know that from, I mean, I guess you're seeing the paraphernalia. Peculiar,
because it's not, you know,
than
it's not
a cigarette.
Correct.
Jesus Christ, smoking straight up crack.
And they
just gonna get demonetized because of this conversation.
And then, you know, like security makes contact with them and they're just trying to be like, dude, come on, man, get out of here, dude.
Yeah, like, you know, and then you can't do that,
right? So because they do it so often, they're like, they get like escorted out.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, come back.
Right back in.
It's like, all right, you know, now we know what you're doing, but we're not gonna beat you up for it either.
Right.
By the way, people think that still happens.
What? Like you could disappear into a back room and get your ass whooped?
Yeah.
Get your head put in a vice?
Just know that these places are audio and video recorded.
Yeah.
So they can't just take you to a place where there's no coverage. Like there's coverage.
I mean, it's probably a good thing that people think that, you know, that you might, you know, get thrown out into a dark alley and
pummeled.
Yeah, beaten up like Jimmy Bats. Or whatever his name was. All right. Yeah. Well, so Do you have in the context of? I mean, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to. You shared already a pretty tough story in the world of dispatch and security. But do you have a perhaps more lighthearted nightmare story of something that was an obstacle that you had to overcome in the context of surveillance?
I would say just digging in and trying to find answers to the questions I need to close an investigation.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest thing is, we have a bunch of programs and things at our disposal that we can use, but it's not necessarily always helpful. So we have to now use outside, like things on
Someone
our
walks
own
in the room with a
accord.
hard drive, and you got to now dig through that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to say sure for that,
Right,
but
right.
it's just, or finding, something that legally comes back and like they're requesting something, for whatever reason. And now we have to dig through files and files and just files of things. And, sometimes you might think let's say you don't have a record, right, at a casino. But there's people who do have a record, and it's not because they're bad or they did something wrong, but just things that happen to them because they're there constantly.
Yeah.
So over the course of,
Like anybody could have a record, right? Like you could just be somebody who lives in Vegas,
yeah,
and maybe because you were somewhere where when something happened, boom,
correct.
you're
Yeah.
in there. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
We got a couple more for you.
Okay, go ahead.
What would you say is the highlight thus far, or a highlight? Doesn't have to be the highlight. A highlight of your career so far.
Oh man, it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
I've become a gambler,
Okay.
but there's no such thing as a good gambler. But I was going to say a good gambler.
Okay.
So I know where to take my risks, and I know what to do. So I find that
without taking advantage of the house, of course.
I mean, you have to take advantage of the
Of course,
house.
right? Can we say you can't say that on camera, can you?
No, I'm just saying, like, as a surveillance person, you absolutely know how to take advantage of the house.
Yeah.
So yes, that's absolutely, you don't do it in your own place. You don't, you're in your own house. You don't, but.
Or within your own company at all.
Or within your own company, correct.
Go over to the station.
But, it's, some people it's frowned upon. Like some people, of course, they're like, they frown upon that. But other people, like, other companies, they want that. They want that, like,
They want you to have that knowledge and that ability to do so, because then
right,
you
because
have the
then
experience
I
and
have
you know
to,
what you're looking at.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we delve into the depths of the gambling world, and of course, it's all about the highs and lows, but for the most part, it's a lot of highs.
How much money you got?
You need money?
I mean, what's up? Sure.
You're not getting nothing from me. If anything, you owe me. Let's start there.
All right. Okay. Got one more for you. For young people, particularly young women, I guess, right? That'd be good. Who would like to grow up and become a savant in the world of gaming surveillance? What do you say to them?
Just learn the games. I think that would be the biggest thing. So, and learning the game, I don't care what anybody tells you, learning the game does not mean go out there and gamble. If you have no idea what's going on, don't do it. You can literally download an app. You can play it there. You can
True.
play it for free.
Yeah.
You don't have to lose anything, you know? as long as you let's start learning the mechanics of the game and what what you're actually doing, then you can like go deeper into the actual, because that's our main focus. It's the gaming floor.
Right.
So yeah, we deal with a lot of security issues, but at the end of the day, we're there to protect the assets, and the assets, it's what brings the money in is the gaming.
Yeah.
So if you have the knowledge to, we call them the big four, it's going to be baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps. If you know those 4 games, it's over. Like you can do surveillance anywhere, especially here in Vegas. Like if you get training here, or if you go into even a small casino into surveillance and you say you worked in Vegas, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, that makes
East
sense.
Coast, Asia, like all those places. Like there's no, as long as it's Vegas, they don't kind of care where you.
Yeah.
Again, you have to show that you know what you're doing. They're
Right.
not just going to hire people because you say Vegas, right? But learning the games will get you a lot further than going to the casino and like trying to gamble the money that you don't have.
Yeah.
And I say that because I see it all the time. People don't have money to be gambling like
To
that.
be figuring, learning, to be out there just winging it.
Right. And you will lose a lot of money very fast.
Yeah.
It will come at a high cost. So just learning those games, and then everything else will come with just practice. So it's the same thing, you grab a camera, you're not going to know it. The more you play around with it, the more you shoot video, the more problems you run into, eventually you're going to learn how to navigate through those.
Yeah.
So same thing, the administrative stuff will come. The camera, you can work a camera, right? But that doesn't mean you can work my cameras, right? And vice versa. I don't know what this is, So
It's not that complicated.
I understand
I'm sure you
that.
could do it in 5
Right,
minutes.
you just
could
press
learn
a
how to work
button,
one of these
right?
cameras,
Like
yeah.
I get that. But I'm saying, to actually go in there and be like, move stuff, do manuals of stuff. Like I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's automatic.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, all that camera work, all that stuff, it has to come with practice. So you can't practice it if you can't get into surveillance, and you cannot get into surveillance if you don't know your games.
Right.
So that's it. If you really want to learn, I keep telling you, stop playing the games you're playing, but there's no such thing
Me?
as, you.
What games do I play that you tell me to stop playing?
Double roulette,
I
zero
don't
roulette.
play roulette anymore. We discussed this.
Right.
We don't have to.
Anyway.
Sweat beads.
As the roulette ball just falls out of your pocket.
Yeah, I have like five
Yeah.
$5 chips everywhere. It's coming out of my pockets from the fucking circuit.
Yeah, so just, if you really want to learn, it's a lot of math too. People don't know that. It's a lot of math.
Yeah, hence why I,
It's a lot of math.
That's why I do. I don't do gambling. I don't gamble. I don't. The only thing I will do is I'll sit down and play poker. I'll play Texas Hold'em.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good at that. It's very rare I'll lose money at Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Well,
It's good.
we did it. Karla, thank you so much for coming on. Could you please share your socials if you want to, or anything that you're working on that you want people to check out, or you could share a message with the youth, for the youth of America.
For the youth
Whatever
of America.
you would like to do.
Oh man. No social media. No, I don't have it. I mean, I have one, but it's literally just for family.
You don't want to promote it. Got it.
So
Very
yeah,
secret.
I don't do I don't do social media for a reason,
Yeah. No, it's probably a good reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And No, man.
Are you reading any books right now? What can we share with people? What can we give to the people?
A gift to the people? I don't know. Just stay safe. Stop doing stupid shit. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I promise you, trying to look cool is not going to be cool once you get hurt. You know, I sound like a mom. It's just don't do it. Just be normal, man. Just, can we have one night where I'm just, just stop beating each other up, man. Like, just, it's crazy.
Stop it. Get some
just
help.
Stop it. Go home.
Go home.
Drink at home.
Drink at home.
Drink at home.
That's a good t-shirt too.
Yeah. Drink at home.
Okay. All right. We did it. Yay, we did it.
More drinks for me.
Okay. That was a good one. That was great. People are going to love that.
You think so?